Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is September 21st, 2018. Give a shout out to my man Ton618. He wanted me to play Alice in Chains, No Excuses. Thanks for the song request. Usually Ton hit me with some hip hop joints, but we switching it up today. So thank you for that. Always gotta switch it up, mix it up. I don't have a problem with that. What's good, people? Hope you guys are doing well today. And man, I'm sure all of you have seen XRP has now overtaken Ethereum in market cap, though I personally think it won't be for long. But we're going to take a look at that. What's going on? Is Ethereum in trouble is what CoinDo asked. I don't know why they're comparing those two. It's like apples to oranges or something. It's crazy because I'm sure you guys know who really have been following me for over a year now. This week, Wednesday, September 19th was the first time I ever covered Ripple on my channel. First time ever. As an actual article. Wednesday was the first time, September 19th. And sure enough, you see what's happened since Wednesday. This is crazy, but I had to cover it. I cover stuff even that I don't want to cover. But I had to cover it because it was an important sequence of events that happened with Ripple and what they're doing on the cabal side, on the banking side. You know, making these partnerships with all these different banks. PNC is the one that I covered. I knew that that was some game-changing news, at least for Ripple. I do have a few Ripple fans. I'm personally not one of them and won't ever be, just simply because of how they're going about adopting cryptocurrencies. But that doesn't mean they're not going to be successful. So I do acknowledge that they can definitely and probably will be successful with their partnerships and endeavors. However, you know I'm about us keeping banking in our pockets, away from the central banks, or at least starting to take control of some portion of our wealth. Maybe we won't ever get away from fully being out of the banking system. However, I think with cryptocurrencies we can take a lot of that control back. So that's why I try to focus on those types of articles and coins and projects. But I had to cover that this past Wednesday because that was some major news and the price reflects it. So we're going to talk about that. And then secondly, I'm sure most of you heard the SEC has delayed the ETF decision for the VanEck ETF yet again. That was pretty much expected, I think. And, the market reflects that as well. That was baked in. So we'll take a look. And actually, the market went up from that, so we'll take a look at the details to see why the market went up. I had a feeling it wouldn't go down, but I didn't anticipate it going up, so we'll take a look at that as well. But first, take a look at that market cap. Currently sitting at $222 billion. Bitcoin's dominance dropped significantly, 52%, and as you can see, just green all over the place. Ripple up 57% in 24 hours, almost. It was up 60% actually, and over 7 days 100%. Ethereum is up 8.5% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin Cash up 12%. That's a huge bump. They've been losing a lot. And EOS up 9% in the last 24 hours. Stellar up 18%. So out of the top 4 or 5 coins, we've got Stellar and XRP, which Stellar is a fork of XRP. Those are the leading gainers there. So what does that tell us? We'll have to figure that out. Litecoin is up 6 and almost 7% as well. So that got a nice bump today too. So let's look at this market though, because I'm not convinced. Like, this getting above 6,600 is great. That shows some progress, right? Definitely from the lows of 6,100. So we've gone, a total of about 15%, 12%, somewhere around there in the past few days for Bitcoin. And, the market cap kind of reflects that. But let me just show you why I don't think this is an all-out rally. We've got this 6,800 is really where we got to pass. And I'm seeing so much price action in these levels. At this level that I don't think we're going to be able to push through it the first time. If we do, that is very bullish at that point, because if you look here, this was a huge reaction to this level prior to us getting above it. So I'm expecting the same thing again. And then when we finally got above it, we bounced off of it once, and then we bounced off of it twice. I mean, you can't really see it there. I would have to zoom in for you to see that one. You see that? And then we made a huge move below it when we broke it. So 6,800 is truly where we have to get above, guys, to see a rally back to the 73 area. So let's hope that happens. But as of yet, I am not convinced, just to keep you guys up to speed to where I think the market is right now. I also think that XRP rally is fully off of fundamental news on the speculative side, meaning I think it was traders getting excited about the news that XRP put out, not necessarily the banks needing the coins and tokens. So normally that type of thing will fade off. So if you were in that, kudos to you. Profit taking would be warranted at this point, in my opinion. But let's take a look at that first article as we talk about XRP. It says here, XRP surges 60% in the last 24 hours. Should Ethereum start worrying? Again, what the hell does Ethereum have to do with XRP? These projects shouldn't be worrying about market cap. What you should be worried about as a project or a organization in this game is staying ahead of the curve as far as technology. But anyway, the price of XRP has skyrocketed with 60% in the last 24 hours and now stands at around 60 cents according to the data provided by CoinMarketCap. XRP's market cap started the week with 11 billion and has finished the week at around 23 billion, doubling in size. This dramatic increase in the coin's market cap has made XRP come closer to becoming the world's second largest cryptocurrency and dethrone Ethereum. The surge is attributed to the positive response it received to a series of news announcements made in recent days. Earlier this week, Ripple added PNC, and that was the one I covered, guys, this article. Ripple added PNC, one of the biggest banks in the United States in terms of assets, to its enterprise blockchain network, RippleNet, a global payments network of over 100 institutions. According to the company, RippleNet will allow PNC commercial clients to receive payments from overseas banks in real time. This is big. No lie, this is big. The company's network of banks and financial institutions make use of Ripple's blockchain technology to make real-time payments, including their software solution, XRapid, to leverage XRP for instant payments. Regarding XRapid's full production, Ripple's head of regulatory relations for Asia Pacific and the Middle East hinted at the firm will be starting operations in the next month or so. He stated the following: "I am very confident that in the next 1 month or so, you will see some good news coming in where we launched the product live in production." A couple of years ago, the narrative was blockchain good, crypto bad. But I think what we are now seeing is that more and more regulators are taking the whole space in one conjunction. You cannot have runways built without airplanes. The narrative is thankfully changing, and policymakers are recognizing there is a strong benefit that digital crypto assets bring, he says. The Ripple company currently owns 60% of the total supply of XRP, with 91% of that investment being locked in escrow. It remains to be seen if this rally will last long enough for XRP to surpass Ethereum and keep its position for a longer period of time. Well, this article was written probably earlier today, and we all know, as I'll bring this back up, XRP has surpassed Ethereum in market cap, not by much, but let's see if this can sustain. I don't think it will sustain. I think Ethereum will end up taking back over. Speculators just got a little bit overzealous with this news. My question is, and you guys who are XRP fans, hodlers, investors, whatever you want to call it, help me out, because I don't really follow XRP or Ripple like that. How does this news of Ripple partnering with PNC, bringing in another bank, how does that help the price of the token? Are these banks required to use the XRP token or Xcurrent or whatever system? Are they required to use the token to make these wire transfers? Let me know, and then that way I can assess whether or not this type of momentum will continue. Because if it's not necessary for these banks, if they're not actually using the token, then I don't know what value long term will be there, except for speculation. So you guys let me know. Again, I'm not a follower of XRP like that, but definitely 2 times this week. How about that? The irony of it. But the second article out of CryptoVest, SEC delays CBOE Bitcoin ETF again. It's another day, another delay, as the SEC once again decides to reserve judgment on CBOE's application for an exchange-traded fund for Bitcoin. So if you guys don't know, this particular ETF is said to be the one with the most probability of actually getting it passed. This is why this particular one is so, everyone's holding their breath on it and they want to see what happens. Or speculators do. Markets are holding out for hope that the SEC could approve an exchange traded fund based on Bitcoin from CBOE called VanEck-SolidX, after the institution announced that it would hold its judgment until it could collect more data on public opinion of such an instrument. Institution of such proceedings is appropriate at this time in view of the legal and policy issues raised by the proposed rule change. Institution of proceedings does not indicate that the Commission has reached any conclusion with respect to any of the issues involved. What the hell are they talking about? Speaking normal English, people. I'm just going to go ahead and finish reading the actual article and not the quotes here from Secretary of the SEC. Article goes on to say this decision by the regulator may have also been one of the reasons why the cryptocurrency market has been experiencing a bullish moment for the last 24 hours, as traders are optimistic that the SEC will eventually come to a public decision. Bitcoin's rise was perhaps among the smallest, but it still grew by 4% in only the last day. In that case, the anticipation surrounding this moment is unusually optimistic, considering the fact that not everyone is on board with the existence of a Bitcoin ETF. Andreas Antonopoulos, a major Bitcoin advocate, considers that this kind of prospect could open the doors to more manipulation. In addition to this, he believes that more detached investments into Bitcoin-based funds could remove holders from the voting rights that the community benefits from through software adoption and running nodes. He says, I can choose which exchange to send my Bitcoin to if I want to send it to an exchange. If there is ever a fork debate, which is very likely to happen again in any cryptocurrency, then the funds that control Bitcoin now have a very large voice. Their shareholders don't. They don't get to choose which fork the fund is going to follow in a Bitcoin debate, he says. And that's a very, very critical and key point that he highlights there. While there is a lot of excitement from investors about the potential approval of an ETF, the SEC still hasn't made its decision, and there may yet be a long way to go before approval. We might even end up waiting until the end of the year, just like we did with futures contracts. So what do you guys think? Do you think, because is now delayed again to the end of the year, I think in December, do you think they're going to pass it in December? Or do you think they're going to wait to the very last opportunity, which is end of February going into March? They may do it at the end of the year, but I think it's 60-40 for me. I think 60% chance in March, February, 40% chance end of this year. And that may, that possibly will change. I don't know. But yeah, you guys let me know. I agree with Antonopoulos, man. And I don't know. I just feel like he internally is changing his opinion about Bitcoin. I have no clue about this, but it just seems like, just seeing how passionate he was about the core values of Bitcoin 5-6 years ago, when I first found him, those core values are changing like big time. So it's going to be interesting to see his take on things in the next 2 to 5 years. And if he's still such a Bitcoin, I guess he would, I don't know if he calls himself a maximalist or not, but it'd be interesting to see how he looks at Bitcoin in the next coming years. That's pretty much it for today, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, click that bell, and share this video. Let people know what's going on in this crypto world. It's your boy Crypto Blood, and I'm out. Holla!